Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here. Today we're going to take a look at Mintworks. I did another video of this. I suggest you take a look at it if you want to get a rundown of the solo setup and the original 4 solo AI. Today we are only going to be taking a look at Hank the Leech. Originally I would have said that Hank the Leech is probably one of the most difficult AI that there was. But let's take a quick look at him. Hank the Leech starts with 1 mint at the beginning of the game. His personality traits say that at the end of the upkeep phase, you're going to give him 1 of your mints, that he pays 1 less mint at the supplier to a minimum of 1, and that when you use the builder, Hank can build a plan. He's also going to purchase the cheapest plans, and he's going to set his sights mostly on the city upgrades. So why is that deadly? He only starts with 1 mint. So is that scary? Well, actually, this is a purposeful handicap. If they had given him more, actually, it would have been a lot more difficult to beat him because he does accumulate mints very, very quickly. But how? Well, it's actually right here. The end of the upkeep phase, you give him 1 of your mints. So what that means is during the upkeep, he is usually going to receive 1 mint, and you're going to receive 1 mint. You might as well just give that mint to him because at the end of the upkeep, he's going to get it. What that means for you is if you spent all of your mints and you don't have any buildings that are creating upkeep mints for you, you don't have any mints left. And you're going to continue not having mints until Mort does inevitably build the co-op, which he will because it's the cheapest plan. That's where he's going to accumulate his mints and where he's going to accumulate his momentum. He also spends 1 fewer mint to a minimum of 1 at the supplier. The early game, that's going to seem very benign because he's going to be picking up buildings like this. It costs 1 mint, gives him 1 victory point, and it just happens to be a city upgrade. But later and later into the game, you'll start seeing board setups like this, where you have 5 and 4 cost plans that he's only paying 3 and 4 for. So that does get scary. When you use the builder, he's going to build a plan for free. So if he happens to be holding on to this, which can happen, assuming that he spent so many mints picking up the plan that he does not have the 2 mints to use the builder, this is going to sit in his hand. Let's say then you buy the factory and you build the factory. Now this plan that's sitting in his hand gets built for free. That's where it gets scary, especially later game when he's spending 3, 4, 5 mints to buy a plan. Does this make him the hardest AI? Initially, when I first started playing him, yes. Because it forced me to pay attention to how I was spending. It forced me to pay attention to how I was placing mints in the cascade versus how he was going to be placing his next mint. And it forced me to pay very, very close attention to what was in the plan section and which one he was going to purchase next, because that is a huge part of the strategy here. The first 3 times that I played against him, he destroyed me. It's just honest truth. I did, however, on the 4th game, beat him. But I beat him by default. We had tied as far as how many points we had, and because I had less buildings in my neighborhood, I had the neatest neighborhood, and therefore won the game. But I wasn't satisfied with that. I wanted to keep playing until I had actually beat him fair and square. And what I found out was that if I could limit him to purchasing only the cheapest plans, and even plans that didn't have victory points, such as the Vault, which only has victory points if you have plans in your hand, so Hank, being the type that's going to build his plans because he's the AI, this generally doesn't have any more than 2 victory points, sometimes having none. And then there were other plans in the deck, like the co-op, which did help him, but also helped me, or well, that's not a good example. Things like this, production plans, which didn't have victory points. So he was getting, more mints during his upkeep, but he just simply wasn't getting any more victory points. And by keeping him buying these cheap plans for no victory points, it made it easier for me to build up the victory points or build up the plans that had the victory points, like this, the factory, the lotto, which he will not build, and the gallery, or the bridge, followed by something like the museum. I had to tailor my strategy to finding cards like this and building them before he built them, or leaving cards like this, the landfill, which give you less points the more of these buildings that are in your neighborhood, to allow me to beat him. So, my final opinion about how difficult he is, I will say that if you want a healthy challenge that feels like you're playing against an actual player, Hank the Leech is the AI you want to play. But after having played him 10 or 12 times now, I would say that I still feel like Sonic the Cuteness is more difficult to play because Sonic is just plain fast, whereas Hank, you just have to have a better strategy around defeating him. So here you're going to require more strategy. Sonic, you're going to have to literally just be faster. In the long run, this was easily the most rewarding AI to play, and is kind of the default AI that I play now. It gives me an idea when I'm not playing against a player of what it's like to play against a player, and I do appreciate the nice little handicap here of 1 mint. So, kudos to Justin Blask. This was definitely a very well thought out AI. This AI did come with the co-op rules, or I'm sorry, the co-op personality for Mintworks, the Mint Core. I have yet to play this. Again, I still have yet to play this with multiple players. But hopefully at some point in time, I'll have a video for this to kind of give you an idea of how the co-op version of this game works. This also came with a bunch of these little red mints. These red mints are 5 white mints. So for the sake of making it less likely for you to have to go out and get a different token to represent mints, they gave us some of these. Also, they gave us quite a few new unique locations here that you can add as an option. I have since mixed them together, so I kind of forgot which ones were which. I think it was the remover and the team builder. I could be so wrong about that, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that. But anyway, yeah, that is Hank the Leech. I am interested to hear your thoughts on the AI and the difficulty, whether you think Hank is actually more difficult than Sonic. So please go ahead and leave a comment below on your opinion there. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm always checking my YouTube. Also leave that down in the comments below. If you liked the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I will always be back with more, so peace.